friends, it's Miss Christina here.
And Mr. Joe.
Today we're going to be doing a new and exciting fun STEAM challenge on dinosaurs. We are going to first share with some of our new friends what our show is about, and it's what STEAM stands for. So, Joe, do you know?
Science, technology, engineering, and macaroni.
No, wrong. Close, you got half of them right. Okay, art and math. So, but today we're going to be focused more on the science and technology. Don't think we have a whole lot of art, but we'll see what we can figure out once we get to it. So we're going to be doing two challenges. One's going to be an ice melt experiment, and then we're going to do a Dino Dig. So the best part is that you can come in this week and get your own little Dino Dig kit. We're doing a take and make for this STEAM challenge. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and start with our ice melt experiment so that we can come back to it after we do the Dino Dig and see our results. All right. But before we get started, hopefully the ice will be melted by then. We want to talk a little bit about what paleontology is and what a paleontologist does. So, Mr. Joe.
Well, a paleontologist is a scientist who studies primarily dinosaurs and creatures from many millions of years ago.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to learn about some of the tools that these paleontologists use to excavate the dinosaurs and the fossils that they find. So with that, let's get started on our ice melting experiment. And when you have an experiment, you always want to have like a control, which means there's something that is left untouched and you don't apply anything to it. It's just stand alone on its own. But the rest of them, we're gonna try a few things. We have sugar, we've got salt, we've got hot water, we've got cold water, and we've got hot air or steam. So, which one do we want to put on first?
Let's do the cold water first.
Okay.
Let's say our control is this guy.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So I'm going to start with cold water here.
Not doing much, is it?
No, not yet. I think I'm going to try and fill up to the cup a little bit. There. Not too much so it doesn't spill over into the control. We want to kind of keep that protected from the rest of the things we're going to be using. So what do we want to do? The sugar next, maybe?
Yeah. You could work your way to the left.
Yeah, kind of this way.
Up and to the left.
Ooh, I'll probably want to do let me do the hot air first.
We're using an aluminum baking pan with 6 slots for muffins or cupcakes.
Yeah, so you can use, it helps keep everything separate. This is just going to be easy to throw away, but you might have one that you use to bake with, and it's an easy cleanup, so that would be fine too. I'm going to do the hot air first because I want to do something that's a little bit further away from our control, so I don't know how far the air will get over to it. So we can do this for like, what, 10 seconds, 20 seconds? I don't know.
Let's do it for 10 seconds.
That sounds good.
And stop.
Okay. Yeah.
Not much change.
No. Nope.
Don't see a whole lot of change on our first variable either.
Mm-mm.
Well, let's try.
You can see actually there's a little bit of a divot there, but this really isn't.
Oh, the ice is pretty thick, so
Yeah.
it probably takes a lot of hot air. I don't know. Let's
True.
find out more.
True. So, well, let's go with the sugar here. I'm just gonna put like a spoonful. Just a spoonful of sugar.
So think in your own mind what sugar might do to ice.
Oh, it's absorbing it.
And now we have salt. I'm more intrigued about what salt will cause.
Yeah, because I always think salt is going to be the thing because that's what they put on the roads to melt the ice in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So, get it to it doesn't scoop up as easily as the sugar for some reason. Okay.
Oh, I think I heard it crack.
Yeah, probably. Now something that's really cool, if you want to try this at home, if you have food coloring, it's really neat to see. If you put a couple drops of it on there, you can see the fissures of the created from the salt as it's starting to melt the ice and crack away. It's pretty awesome. Looks like little veins and such. And so the last one we have is for
Hot water.
okay.
So this one's probably going to cause the most change, right?
I don't know. We'll find. Maybe I would think hot water would be good, but salt must be the next best thing. Oh my! Look at that. I gotta make sure it doesn't put too much. It went down immediately. Ooh. Okay, and that's as high as I can go without it.
Going to displace your
Spit.
cup with more water.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, that was an immediate reaction. Notice. So
Now you could, if you wanted, if you had your hairdryer in hand, you could make it sort of a race at this point and maybe flip your hairdryer back on.
as you're doing the pouring the water on, put the hot air on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be good.
Maybe an extra set of hands would be a good team activity if you're doing this at home.
Yeah, that's good. So what we'll do now then is we're going to set this aside and we're going to come back and check on it in a little bit after we do our Dino Dig, and then see if we notice any more changes or.
So next is the Dino Dig, everyone. And so for this part, I'm going to show you real quick what your finished product might look like. Not super attractive, is it, Miss Christina?
No, it's supposed to look like dirt,
It could just be
like an
a ground
excavation
ground.
site.
Yeah, so it's meant to look like what the Earth would look like where you would find different fossils. And what we're going to start with, we have a solution that we make, or sort of a batter. We're going to start with some baking soda. The amounts that you'll use if you choose to come in the library and pick up a kit, this is all going to be pre-measured, and there is a printed guide included too.
Yeah, everything just like that. You see, that'll be in the bag.
Yep.
Except for the dish.
Except for the dish, we're keeping that. So I'm going to start with my baking soda. That's a nice big healthy amount of baking soda. And then the cornstarch.
It's half a cup, I think.
That sounds right. Cornstarch is a thickening agent, so.
And you'll need about a cup of that.
And cornstarch can get kind of messy. This is the primary ingredient in making slime, if you've made slime at home.
Lots of slimy like slime.
And this is optional. If you want to give it the look of soil, you can add, and I would recommend adding, some coffee grinds. I don't remember the concentration on that, but I didn't use very much.
I think it's just a,
Tablespoon.
maybe 2, however much you need, but 2 tablespoons is probably good enough.
And I'm using a Pyrex dish. You could use a bowl or whatever suits you.
Yeah.
And then,
Anything you can bake with, right?
yeah.
Like
I have
aluminum
some-
even would work.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, you could do it right in the baking dish. So I'm adding some water, and then
Yeah. You might, it gets kind of, I don't know, a little bit tough to mix.
yep, it's pretty thick. So I'm just going to add a little more water
And
as needed.
yeah.
Ooh, that's
I'm
right,
glad you were
right.
here. Yeah, it can get messy, but I don't know if you've ever made it look, but I recommend you doing adding just enough water or something to make it kind of that consistency. Kind of like toasting. Isn't it neat how it's such an odd mixture in the way the cornstarch and the baking soda, they don't really want to mix all of them.
No, they
It's
get.
just set up real quick.
It's like mixing bubble gum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of just cutting grooves into it and trying to turn it.
Yeah.
You might want to, if you're doing this at home, you might want to use a wooden spoon or something a little sturdier because it just
Yeah.
won't let
Yeah.
the sucker.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know how strong those spoons are, but
Also, one lesson to learn from Mr. Joe, like we were just talking about, wear an apron. I dress like Mr. Rogers almost every day, and I don't want to get my clothes messy, so don't wear an apron.
especially if you mix right now. Food coloring and all that good stuff too.
An apron or a bib.
Right. Hopefully we won't need a bib. Do not eat this. You may be curious. You think this looks good. Maybe I'll try to bite it. No.
Ew, no.
You do bake with these things, but you don't eat this mix.
Okay, I think we're good.
So you'll have in your kits about a dinosaur that you can submerge in this mix. I think that's pretty good. It's kind of fun to start though because it seems to just solidify. Like it reminds me of like sediment or something. It's kind of
Okay, now we're ready for the dinosaurs?
get it here.
Okay. I don't know, why don't you tell the audience where you could get dinosaurs like these? I don't even know where you got this
Well, you can get them from us in your bag if you come get a kit.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, Walmart has them. Amazon probably has everything. Dollar Tree, that's where we got ours, and we did get a couple extra from Walmart, but they were a little bit too big. So
So I'm literally, I know this, if you're a big fan of dinosaurs, it looks like they're drowning, but they're not in trouble. We're just temporarily burying them in the solution.
it'll take at least an hour or so before this mixture hardens. But if you want to speed it up a little bit, just put it in the oven for about 20 minutes on 250 degrees, and then let it cool off. And then you can start, when it cools off, it'll look like this, and then you can start using your tools. So as far as excavating goes and the tools that paleontologists use,
Should be pretty similar to these.
yeah, when they get to the closer to the end,
On a smaller level, our tools, we're gonna use a tongue depressor, and so you'll find these in your bag too.
yeah.
And here I have like a little, like a rough brush, and then a foam paintbrush too.
Yeah, they, something I discovered when we were looking into this was there was a dinosaur expert named Sue Hendrickson, and she discovered the T-Rex Sue, and she talked about some of the things that they used for excavating Sue. So they had like shovels and picks, all the way down to X-Acto knives, so we're not going to be giving you any knives, but you shouldn't need it for this. But also they had something like a dental pick. The paintbrush to keep the area clean. So they were continuously, as they're digging around and scraping away, they're continuously using the paintbrush to scoop away the excess dirt, keep it clean.
And you'll have a large, like an extra large toothpick in your bag too.
Yeah. So, then you also should have a journal or some type of notebook or something to make notes. She said that was one of the most important tools, was they're documenting everything they found. Just writing down everything was really important. So that's a lot to do with, yes, I guess you have to take a lot of notes to write down everything. So, you want to start digging and see how
Let's
long
see.
it takes to get to, I think there's a couple of them buried in this mess.
So I'm just using the tongue depressor to scrape away.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I was worried, Joe might just like come at it and start smashing on it or something.
Well, I've come across something. I hope that the cameras in the audience at home can see this, or perhaps you can zoom in too. If not, I have one right here. The tongue depressor actually works pretty well at pushing the sediment and the dirt away. Yeah. I know there's an activity at the children's museum for handicap, so we need to do something almost exactly like this.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of our most favorite places to go. We go once or twice a year, and that was always the first thing my kids wanted to go to.
Okay, I've got something here. So I also have my toothpick in hand, and I can kind of use that to scrape away fine little bits of sediment without disturbing the animal underneath. Yeah, I think I've got something here. Oh, and there he is. So
And that one was a lot more on the surface, so we came out with it. Is it intact?
that's
Did it
intact.
come apart?
I use my little bristle brush to kind of give him a wipe down. And I can clearly see we've got a junior T-Rex right here. And of course you can use your foam brush too to polish him off real nice. He's got some dirt in his mouth and his eye sockets.
Yeah.
See, that's a lot of fun actually.
Mhm.
So yeah, again, it'll take about how long for your solution to harden?
Well, if you don't bake it, it'll take a couple hours probably, but if you bake it on 250, it only takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah, so if you're waiting it out, maybe put this together in the morning and then it'll be ready after lunchtime for the kids.
Yeah. So, now we're done with the Dino Dig. Well, it's time to check on our ice melt experiment.
Oh boy. I'm seeing some interesting stuff here. And the melting process seems to be speeding up. The one that we poured hot water on has reduced in size quite a bit.
Yeah, it's flipped over on its side.
Mm-hmm. It's taken on sort of a bell shape too, which is interesting.
Salt.
And that's the salt. Yeah, the salt almost seems to be boring its way right down through the middle. Almost, the salt's unaffected. It's just going straight through. The sugar made an interesting effect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really melting the ice nearly as fast, but it's causing the crystals to do
Yeah.
interesting things.
I'm gonna grab some food coloring, and so you can see a little more clearly what the salt and sugar are doing. The
Mhm.
rest is just all melty, but those are pretty awesome. If you can see, I don't think you can see the detail without that, so.
It's really one of the neater ones as I see it up close. Oh, wow. I don't know if you can see that on your end. Of course, hopefully, we hope that you're trying this at home.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are, Christina has placed red on the one that we place sugar on, and it's formed little fissures all over the block of ice.
kind of an even melt too with it, or, you know, distributing it a little more
What about the salt?
uniformly than the salt appears to be. That's what.
Oh, wow.
So it's all concentrated. Just kind of. Let's go on the edge and see.
Yeah, so the salt really is eating away in a really fascinating way.
Yeah.
The way that salt reacts with frozen water is a lot different than the way that sugar
Yeah.
reacts.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, it's clear to me that the winner is the hot water. And second place is salt. Is that what you
Mhm.
conclude? Okay.
Well, we didn't, with the hair dryer, we didn't apply a whole lot of heat.
Yeah.
You could hold it up to that ice block longer if you're
Mhm.
doing this from home, if you'd like to. And my guess is probably the same as yours, it would melt pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. Might try with like a cold setting and a hot setting, get two dryers at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of see if the pressure of the air, how much impact that has with the control. So
That's
anyway,
pretty cool.
that's fun. Okay, so what should we do about our dino eggs?
Crack them open.
Do we have scissors?
No, I will.
Actually, I might. Yeah. Use a two. Take those.
Sorry, I put the scissors up before.
No, that's okay. I actually. There it is. Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Ah,
What
check
is
it out.
that?
I don't know. Looks like a
What's in
dinosaur.
there?
Let's get this over here. This out of the way. This. Oh, here you go. Woo!
Woo! That's to be expected if you've had your dinosaur eggs sitting out for a little while.
Yeah, it sort of melts a little bit.
And then peel the rubber off. And voila, 2 dinosaurs frozen in time.
Encapsulated in ice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we included a balloon with your kit. So once you dig your dinosaur up, if you want to put him in the balloon and fill it up with water,
Was there a trick to getting him in here, or?
you really gotta, it would be helpful if you had someone to hold the balloon open or,
Mhm.
and then,
Might have to kind of force him in
yeah.
a little bit.
I mean, I did it, I was able to do it on my own, but it is a little bit tricky. The bigger the balloon, the better. And these are pretty good size, but, so I would just, depending on how fast you want to get to your dinosaur, I would have fun playing with the sugar and the salt first and some food coloring. I think that's half the fun, just seeing what it does. Then you can use some of your tools to try and dig and chip away at the ice as well, and you get tired of waiting. Put some hot water on it. Really quick.